And I'm going to Facebook. And I'm going to Facebook.
There's no sellouts. H.A. Goodman, there's no sellouts. Tim Black.
You're now listening to the amazing vocal stylings of Jimmy Reefer Cake.
Yes.
My brother.
Can you hear me?
Are we on?
We are on. Let me see how we are, because this is.
Can you hear?
We are green.
Can you hear?
They hear us and they see us. HA gets strapped.
HA is strapped. Trust me on that. Trust me on that.
I love it, man. I love this shit. All right, guys. All right. Welcome to another edition of the show with the mostest. None other than No Sellouts. It's your man Tim Black. We're back, and I got my sidekick, my number one thriller from Manila, up there chilling. What's up, H.A. Goodman? How you doing, brother?
Tim Black.
Man, what's going on, H.A. Goodman? How you feeling, brother?
Just another day in H.A. Goodman's world.
Oh,
just another day.
Yeah. Okay.
So I gotta tell you, some guy, and he's affiliated in some way with the social justice warrior crew of Progressive Army. He's not one of them, but he's one of the people who just came out of nowhere and started trolling because he just couldn't stand my viewpoint. The funny thing is, Tim, here's a little background on this guy. We were supposed to debate because I said, let's debate. This was about right after Charlottesville. Apparently, Tim, he's a writer for a publication, or he's written for a publication.
Wow.
And then he said that I retweeted 2 of his articles. Then today, we were supposed to find a time, right?
Right.
This dude then says, I know where you live. I'm going to come over your house. Man. Let's go ahead and do the same. Let's be in the same shot together. And I'm like, whoa, this dude's crazy. So this is what he wrote. And I have screenshots and everything. And this guy, funny enough, he has another Twitter handle. He doesn't have his name or his face. So he's threatening physical threats. Like, I'm going to go to your house. I know where you live. And then he goes nasty, gets nasty. He's like, my wife knows your wife. That's how I know you. Like crazy cuckoo games. So then he writes, since I live less than a block away, shouldn't I just go to your place? That way we can be on the same shot. Like, that's insane. Then he goes, Guy, I told you the very first time I spoke with you, I was your neighbor. No, he never said that. I get off then. 6 Pacific will work. Your lady knows my wife. Now, mind you, I told him I couldn't at 6 because I have Tim Black. Then he goes, then I said, weirdo, tell me where I live. He goes, I'll go outside in 15 minutes and message you. I am weird, just not a weirdo. Then he goes, okay, Mr. Goodman, 6 p.m. good. He knows we have no sellouts. And then he says something about you, Tim. But then he goes, okay, Mr. Goodman, 6 p.m. good. Everything will make sense to you sooner or later. I fight for leftist causes my whole life, and I take it seriously. And if I see a charlatan come by and mislead people and use trickery to advance a right-wing agenda, I take it personally. This is the guy who says I retweeted 2 of his articles. Okay. Then he goes, what did he say? Oh, I can tell you right now. He goes, just now he goes, about to get off work. Hi, like psycho killer talk. Now, then he goes, first he was like, why don't the loser donate debate of our debate, donate $300 to the winner of a certain charity, winner's pick of a certain charity. I'm like, what? And then I'm like, look, you know what? I can't, I said, today I have no sellouts at 6 p.m. with Tim. Is 5 Pacific good today? Then he goes, since I live a block away, shouldn't we go? Shouldn't we do that? But you don't get paid for no sellouts. And if you miss one, no one will notice and Tim won't care.
This guy.
So, dude, this guy is like completely off the hook. And he doesn't realize that, like, you have 100,000 followers. I have 85,000 YouTube followers. I did 2 videos right now. The first one is doing very well, like 7,000 views now. The second one is already at like 2,000 views almost. Actually 2,000 pretty much. That's going to probably, both of them are going to go to probably about, I don't know, either 10 to 15,000 views, could be more. Then I spoke to an Officer Hall at the LAPD and he said, go speak to a detective tomorrow. So I'm going to go to the LAPD office that I spoke to. Officer Hall won't be there, but he said, go say that Officer Hall said, go speak to a detective. So I'm going to go speak to the detective, write down a report, and give, literally the report will be Elephant Killer 7, use the illusion N. And I was told, go to the sheriff's, but then I was told you have to go to your LAPD local branch. So, and then he said a detective has to look at your screenshots and everything. So this is definitely, and I've already told by a lawyer that it's definitely cyber bullying. It could be very well cyber stalking, especially since he is trying to say he knows your wife and all this stuff. His wife knows my. So it's really bizarre. What do you make of all of this? And then he goes, "This is the weirdest thing of all, Tim." And I know that you and I are like, in our 40s, and we know who this rapper is. But he goes, "My second favorite Gangstar album was Moment of Truth. About to get off work. Hi." What the fuck? Like, what does that even mean? What is that?
It means this guy is is that he's an unhinged asshole is what it means, And my thing is, whatever the issue was with you, whatever thing you disagreed with about or whatever, why does that have to turn into this? It devolves into this hate fest, now into stalking, now into threats to someone's physical being, bringing their family into it. This is totally unacceptable garbage. All right. And this is one of my things with people on the internet. It's and I've had to check people too. Look, dude, I'll see you in person when we do an event. And they're all afraid now. It's what does that mean? That means I'm going to whip out my camera and I'm going to confront you live in front of the world. And then I'm going to ask you questions live where you don't get to hide. So you can duck on the internet. My thing is exposing. It's not about violence, man. I'm 40-something years old. I don't be fighting nobody. That's ridiculous. But when I listen to your story, H.A., it just sounds so pathetic and sad that this, if this is even true, this could be some guy just laughing, getting his jollies off and making, crude comments on the internet. That's probably why he hasn't debated you. And then he keeps making up this stuff.
Then he wrote this: "You were a stillborn baby. Your mother didn't want you, but you were stillborn." So basically, you're admitting by your actions and words that not only do you not know shit about politics, you're also ignorant about the law. LAPD laughed your white ass off the set. There's no crime, stupid fuck, and you can't find anyone on Twitter or anyone else to say there is. The funny thing that this guy doesn't get is that Twitter is not reality. I spoke to the officer, and he said, "Come tomorrow to speak to a detective. Show the detective everything." Yeah. So the officer I spoke to already said, "Yeah, that's a serious issue. You can file the report." Yeah. So I'm already filing the report. The guy is obviously, he knows he's in trouble.
Yeah, he needs to tell his mom. He needs to tell his mom that, "Mom, I might end up going to jail. Mom, do you have bail money?" Like, Mom, I'm a dummy that likes to use the internet to bully people and harass people and make threats to people and invoke their names of their wives and their children, their infant children. Mom, I'm not stable. I need medication, and I also may need you to bail me out of jail. That's what he needs to tell his mom. All of this over what? What, a disagreement about immigration or a disagreement about talking or tweets or retweets? I mean, what really is the issue? What have you really done, H.A. Goodman, to deserve such stupidity coming from this guy?
The only thing I could think of is that he wanted me to answer some questions that he had on DM about Trump. And I said to him, yeah, I know I'm a bad person. Let's just go ahead and find a debate time. Then he went off. Then he got real upset. And it's like, I'm not going to, if we're in a debate, why would I go ahead and answer questions via DM? And the thing is, it's like his whole thing and Progressive Army's whole thing and just people on social media, their thing is, how come you don't hate Trump as much as I do? And if you don't hate Trump as much as I do, you're this big threat problem. Let's see. Oh, hold on. No, see. So basically, it's like, it's just, you know what it is? It's a fear of discussion. Because I debated Ben, and nobody will debate you, Tim, because they know like they're going to get destroyed. But I debated Ben. I debated Alex Rubinstein. I debated one of the writers from Progressive Army. 3 people I debated 3 times that people have said I easily won the debate. This guy, I was more than willing to debate, but then he starts talking about my wife, where I live, and all this stuff. And it's like, my thing is, if you're going to play head games with me,
right,
understand, and just like saying with you, Tim, understand we have a platform to defend ourselves. It's actually the people who don't. I feel bad for the people, and people should learn like from what we're doing. I feel bad for people who don't have a platform to defend themselves, to expose the crazy cyber stalkers.
Right, yeah.
If you and I didn't have our platform, we would be extra susceptible to these people.
We probably experience a little less of this BS too, man. This is probably one of the reasons, one of the foremost reasons why I kind of like try to detach, man, because I've been dealing with this a lot, and it's bad for your mental health, man. You got these people who are accusing you of things you haven't done, accusing you of being the next, I don't know, Hitler, right? Like totally out of context, accusing a Jewish person of being a Nazi sympathizer. It's horrible shit. Like you should have to have evidence upon evidence before you make such an accusation. But these people willy-nilly destroy people's character, means of making a living, attack their very core of who they are based on BS. And a lot of it, guys, a lot of this stuff that you're witnessing is all about people getting more viewership. I don't know about this guy, but a lot of stuff you see is about people trying to expand their viewership, trying to remake themselves into some type of social justice warrior or into some type of fighter for something. You'll notice people changing things on their profiles, changing their branding. And this is, look, I just want people to take a look at it for what it is, and to just for one moment, just imagine if all of their bickering, all of their complaining, all of their finger pointing is just strategic. Could it be just strategic in order to help their own brands or to build a name or what have you? All of it, guys. These same people do not call out Keith Olbermann. They do not call out Joy Reid. They do not call out people with real platforms who make millions of dollars monthly, yearly off of this garbage. But they will go after H.A. Goodman. They will go after Tim Black. They will go after Jimmy Dore. They'll go after Kyle Kalinske. They will go after Hard. They'll go after Nico House. They'll go after people who are making nothing, basically, and compare them to Stalin. Compare them to David Duke. Compare them to anything just to grab. And we have people who just do not realize there is a business strategy. It's a strategy for their channel, a strategy for their blogs, a strategy for their own way of increasing their awareness. Look how much, look at their growth in subscribers, followers, retweets, what have you, since this whole garbage started off. Get the receipts for it. Get the fucking receipts, then come back and take another look at it. Because I'm telling you, it's not about ethics. It's about gaining. H.A. Goodman, man, so did you, I mean, how are you dealing with this, man? Is it affecting you?
So basically tomorrow, I mean, the police officer I spoke to said he had me read a bunch of the tweets, and I read all of them, and he goes, you know what? Speak to a detective tomorrow. You can file a report, and I could literally just file a report with the elephant. What's his name?
Elephant Delusional.
Yeah. His use the illusion and Elephant Killer 7.
So unnecessary, man. So unnecessary. So avoidable. So stupid. H.A. Goodman has no power. We went through all this crap during the primaries, didn't we, H.A.? People act like Tim Black and H.A. Goodman got Trump elected. When we're the only ones telling you not to put in a candidate that could possibly, more than likely, according to all our polls, beat Trump. And you end up with Trump, and now H.A. Goodman and Tim Black are the bad guys. We're the bad guys. No, your party's the bad guy, dummy.
Also, Tim, you got to understand something.
Yeah.
Like, you're a very powerful guy.
No, I'm not, man. I'm a broke guy in his basement with a free backdrop. Someone
I'm not
gifted
talking
me.
about. But I'm not talking about, like, for example, you and I are not like Joy Reid. We don't have MSNBC, but you're an intelligent man with wisdom. That is a lot of danger to, like, you and I. We say things that people don't want to say, and we go out on a limb, and we break the paradigm. We break the groupthink, and that comes with a lot of hate. Yeah. And what I mean by powerful is I don't mean like I agree 100% with you. You and I don't have the millions and millions of people. We're not making hand over fist in terms of money because we don't pander, because we don't tell people what they want to hear on the left. Mm. We tell them the truth that, you know what, you got to look in the mirror. Right. And if you don't look in the mirror, you're going to have more Trump. And I think that Trump's going to win again. But my whole thing is, like you said, the Joy Reids, they don't get this stuff.
Yeah, but H.A., the Joy Reids don't harass us. The Joy Reids don't threaten to meet us outside. The Joy Reids don't bring up our wives and our children. The Joy Reids don't send me hate mail about how I'm no one. I get all types of stuff too, H.A. I resort to blocking someone on Facebook. Then I gotta block them on Gmail. Like, dude, it's ridiculous. I'm just guessing, but I don't think Rush Limbaugh is getting harassed by these people.
No,
I'm just guessing. Like, the people I reach in a month, they reach in a day. Really. I mean, really. That's what I mean by power. I'm just talking about, like, we don't move. Look. Joy Reid can send a tweet out that says, "Man, I want some Chinese," and she'll get 2,000, 3,000 retweets. I mean, like, we don't have the platforms that these people have. And they're making us the threat. Why are they doing that? Because we're the closest thing to them, which will give them some notoriety in a certain space, which will help them grow. I mean, why else do you really care about no-name bloggers? I mean, come on, guys. Why do you care about a no-name blogger? You're not going after, I don't know, the Jonathan Capehart? Why would you go after a no-name blogger or who doesn't even have their own website, really? I'm not talking about you, H.A. Goodman. I'm talking about someone else whose name I'm not going to mention. But I'm just saying, like, what logical reason would you go after a Tim Black with a $2 website with a little small YouTube channel if it wasn't to somehow elevate yourself when you have real people like Robbie Mook, like real people to go after, Neera Tanden? Even if that's not okay, then why aren't you going after the people on the right? Why aren't you going after Tucker Carlson, Bill O'Reilly? Why are you going after H.A. Goodman and Tim Black? Even if, let's say, they strongly feel that we're part of this group. Why wouldn't you go after the people that are doing the most damage on whatever paradigm of the ideology sphere that you come in on, or whatever you hate as far as ideology? Why aren't you going after the big guys? Why are you going after little people who make nothing, who do their work from their heart? We're not getting handed the script. It's just ridiculous, H.A. It's just ridiculous. And I'm pissed off because you just brought that baby home and you're dealing with this type of bullshit. And, we've had other conversations about some decisions, some things you're feeling about the left and how it's treating certain people and whatever. And it's like, this is horrific, bro.
I got to tell you, on a different. Thank you so much for your support, and I want to tell everybody on this show, you saved me hours and hours of heartache. Hours, because Tim and I are very good friends, and we speak like almost every day. Okay, and we have a great rapport with each other. And when we speak, we give each other advice, and we give each other, and it elevates both of us. And the other day, it was just embarrassing for me because I was like almost embarrassed because Tim is a lot more wise, possesses a lot more wisdom on this front. So I said, yeah, Tim, this certain group of people online, I got into a big argument with them and da-da-da-da. And then you waited a day, Tim, and then the next day you told me, HA, you have to promise me don't respond to these people. So I promised you, and Tim, literally, like I wasted like 3.5 hours in 2 days. And then I didn't respond, and they kept going. I didn't respond. And I was like, oh man, like it made my day more productive. I could do more videos. I could do more other projects that I'm working on. And then this thing happens, which I don't know if you checked my message, but I called you. I'm like, Tim, I did everything you said. I did not. I promised you. I did everything I did not. But then this dude like flies off the handle. And it's like, the funny thing is like mind games don't work with you or with me. Like I'm ready for whatever circumstance. If God forbid somebody, entered my home, I'm ready. If God forbid someone or whatever just recently attacks me or threatens me online, I'm going to go ahead and utilize my platform. We're going to talk. And thank you so much for me to be able to speak about this on your show.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I'm calling LAPD. I did 2 videos. I'm going to do a 3rd one now because this guy says I'm getting off of work high. So it's like he doesn't understand, and like he could be dangerous, but I'm not going to take the chance. So I'm going to a detective tomorrow, right, and I'm going to show him, and we're going to find out eventually who this guy is, because he has another Twitter handle. He might have a job outside a publication. So we're going to find out where he works. We're going to find out who he is. We're going to find out where he's written, what he's written. And I have a lot of people, Tim, DMing me. I have a lot of people showing me like insane support. I have people who are like really, I guess it's nice, but I don't want anyone to do anything. I'll be like, I'm there, da-da-da. I will do anything for you. I'm down to fight this guy. Da-da-da. No. Don't do anything. Don't do anything physical, because I'm going to take care of it through the law. And that's the thing. Like you said, what does he have to gain? This doesn't help defeat Trump. You and I are on the left. There are people who agree with you and I. Maybe I might be a little bit crazier on certain issues on the left, but it's still on the left. I was told by one guy who writes for Jacobin that I am a racist Bernie bro, and racist Bernie bros are good to bully. And it's like this insane mentality. I didn't call black youth super predators. I didn't take prison lobbyist money. I didn't spread a photo of the birther myth with Obama. I didn't tell Democratic lawmakers not to support Black Lives Matter with policy solutions. So my thing is like, and then I know that you and I'm not going to bring up his name, but you were very offended and you were disgusted, as was I. And then I had to like post Holocaust photos to shut this guy up. But this guy, there's one guy who is associated with a crew online. Mm-hmm. Tim, he posts pictures of lynchings. He posts pictures of murdered black citizens, charred bodies. And then he says, this is white nationalism. You cannot utilize the death, the suffering, the murder, the pain, the horror of racism of America's past as one person of color. You do not own that. I don't own the Holocaust as a Jew. I cannot say, you disagree with me. Here's a picture of Auschwitz. Here's a picture of dead bodies, dead Jewish bodies, emaciated Jewish bodies. I don't own that. Armenians, Cambodians, Rwandans, Bosnians, everybody. There's a lot of people who have experienced genocide that can go ahead and show the photos and then say, if you don't agree with me, I'm going to show you this photo. Mm-hmm. It's just these people are afraid to debate. They know that if they debate it, they lose. You know, Ben Dixon, when I debated him, his whole point was he literally said he would not help. If it meant helping the Black community, he wouldn't do so if it meant working with the right. And the funny thing is, you have Congressional Black Caucus members who work with people on conservatives, Republicans all the time.
Right.
And it's like, you know,
it's what we do, man. It's how the system works, man. You got to work with other people. These people, I don't know, man. I don't know where to get it from, man.
Yeah. I mean, Cory Booker and Rand Paul worked with each other.
Yeah.
For prison reform. You can go on a list of, you know, it's just, this kind of cult mentality.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely right, man. I mean, and for the record, you know, H.A. Goodman has given me some great advice on how to react or not react on other issues too. And so we, you know, I don't want to just take all the credit for that, because H.A. has helped me, like when it was me, because when it's you, sometimes it's hard to see through what, you know, that may be taking a step back. You don't have to defend your honor. You need to, you know, defend your name or whatever. Sometimes you got to let stuff go, man. And that's the best way to do it, and kind of let it fizzle out on its own and let it come to light, let people kind of wake up to what's what, you know. So I just want to give you credit in that regard, H.A. Goodman, because you've done that, bro. You know what's up.
You know, my pleasure.
Yeah,
my
man.
pleasure.
It gets tough, man. I'm just really disappointed in what people do, man. You know, we got really big issues to fight. And it's always these people that claim that they're such big activists. Well, go act on this shit. Go be activists then. Go be, you know, how is coming after people who speak their truth activism? Go do some activism. Go help some stuff. Right now we got Houston. We got people who need actual help. Get your ass down there and help them. Activists. Why are you on Twitter going after H.A. Goodman, making a video or writing an article? Won't you get out and do some activism? What do you think the people that you say you're fighting for would rather you be doing? Yep. Helping these communities? I don't know, doing the Meal on Wheels, or I don't know, do something. But going against, come on, let's just cut the bullshit. You're not doing this to defeat something. You're doing this because you're looking for a leg up, or you're doing this because you're immature and petty, or you're looking to make a name for yourself. There is no reason on this earth why you would go after a blogger on YouTube or on his own website or publish, you know, why wouldn't you go after New York Times or the Washington Post? Why would you not? Why would you not? There is no reason why. I had to come back to that point. Why do people, I can't believe people buy it. And if people on the left buy it, who's supposed to be so educated, so informed, so researched, then that means there's really no hope for the rest of us, man. These are supposed to be the smart people, the ones who looked into Hillary's background. The ones who took the time to look and see what the voting record was. These are the same people who can't see.
Oh, no, Tim,
yeah.
You got one dude who's a Daily Banter writer on this thread. H.A. is talking to people of color about lynching, and he said white nationalism doesn't exist. So this is Jeremy Fassler. Oh, my God, this is the problem. Jeremy, first of all, white nationalism is not lynching. Lynching, you need to read a history book. Read Ida B. Wells, Red Record. Read what took place in U.S. history. The white nationalism is a new euphemism, whether it's racism, the Jim Crow, slavery, Jim Crow, civil rights movement. You can look at books written. There will be no reference of the term white nationalism. What they've taken out of context is when I say white nationalism, it's literally this new term where crazies on the right have said, we want a new nation only of white people. Then Jeremy Fassler, who is a writer of the Daily Banter, who is unfortunately on No Sellouts, who has disgraced No Sellouts with just being here, has stated that H.A. is talking to people of color. No, I speak to individuals. If they are black, they don't represent all 45 million people. You can see that Tim didn't appreciate one of the gentlemen posting pictures of someone being lynched or burned alive. Okay. And he said white nationalism didn't exist. In their warped mind, Tim, they are This guy's a writer for the Daily Banter, Jeremy Fassler. In their warped
Well, man,
mind,
let's not promote him. Let's get him the hell out of my chat room.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeremy, get the fuck out. Take you and whatever. And the guy who posted all those lynching pictures, I have a problem with that. I think it's a poor, horrible taste. All right, to use that to try to win an argument on the internet, man. That's lame. That's childish shit. That's childish. That's somebody's son. That's somebody's father. Burnt alive, dumbass. And to use that to try to win an argument on Twitter? Are you fucking serious, man? You guys are serious? And I know who posted that. That is a grown-ass, middle-aged black man who posted that picture. To try to win an argument across the internet about a Jew being a Nazi lover. It's the dumbest thing on planet Earth. So, Jeremy, take your daily, I don't even know what, take that, take all that with you, pack it up, roll it up tight like a cylinder, and shove it up your godforsaken asshole.
Amen. Amen.
Get him out of, Momo, get that guy out of my chat room.
Thank you, Tim.
Get him out of there. Get him out of there. And the horse he rode in on, looking for play on his Nobody Visits, Nobody Reads website. That's why he's here. That's why he's doing it. He's tired of losing. Dude, you don't need H.A. Goodman or Tim Black to help you get over the hump of popularity. Be good at what you do. Be good at what you do.
I love you, man. Thank
I
you.
love you back, bro.
You know, I love you, Tim, man. You know, the thing is, people knowingly, what they do is they weren't talking about white nationalism 3, 4, 5 months ago under Obama. That's the problem. If they didn't realize that there are articles from the Southern Poverty Law Center talking about, and other places talking about how white supremacists, this is in 2008, were voting for Obama because in their twisted mind, they wanted Obama to mess things up. So then they could then be elevated. But see, the thing is, the issue is not obviously racism. When you read a history book, you're going to read about racism. You're going to read about the hatred and the horrific treatment that black citizens have endured from 1619 until Philando Castile in many ways, you know, today. You're going to read about Ida B. Wells, a Red Record, who was a journalist black woman who recorded all the lynchings that took place. Swamps were drained and black people were found in the drained swamps. This is the history of America. To put a euphemism like white nationalism, which is a recent thing that people, that the crazies, the neo-Nazis said, that some guy came out recently and said, I want a white nation. So they have then said, this guy can implement a white nation, which means that we will go back to the days of lynching, which means if you disagree with the euphemism white nation, then you are then disagreeing that the lynchings took place. They are sick in the fucking mind. They are fucking sick in the head. And I call it out and you call it out. But the thing is, like, I'm not like, I know you and I were passionate about this, but the truth is this, Tim, like really the truth is this. It's a cult. They're in a cult.
And what's also bad is that they're being so, a lot of them are being so deceived. Now, there's some people who I strongly believe they do this just out of monetary gain, or they do it out of awareness on the internet. They're trying to get positions at CNN and hoping that they can get picked up in some other organization that's run by some neoliberal super PAC or whatever. So that's one part. But there are other people who truly mean well. They just are misinformed. Listen, it's important to note that we had all of these racial issues before Trump. Why is there such a focus on it now? And look, I want people to really think about that, because where I come from is bipartisan, right? I try to look at the system for what it is and point out the corruption, whether it be on the left, the right, or the middle. Doesn't matter to me. Truth is truth, okay? But why do you think they're using race to this extent? You don't think there was racial upheaval in 2008 when we got our first black president? Why now? Why the focus now? If you think it's that they all of a sudden care about black folks being disenfranchised, or care about Klan marches, or care about David Duke, what the hell was he doing in 2008? I got a feeling he was a little bit more active when there was no Trump than when there is Trump. Like, you know what I'm saying? In 2012, when Obama won re-election, where was it then? Okay, so we have to be smarter, man. We got to start asking these questions and not just saying, okay, these people are hurting. I think the Democratic Party uses black people as an instrument to get votes. I don't think it, I know it. Okay, that's what they do. And they use the pain and suffering of these people in order to pull at your heartstrings. I'm not saying they're always wrong. I'm saying it's deceptive. The timing is deceptive and it's strategic. And that pisses me off because we should be focusing on the issues. Tell me about the legislation that's on Trump's desk, man, that's going to help black folks and help Jews and help women and help gays. Tell me about that. Don't tell me about these attitudes. I don't care about them. Meanwhile, any legislation that could be put forth is not getting put forth. I don't know the executive orders that he's signing because it's all covered underneath you being upset about terms that were created in the last 2 years.
And also, what's crazy is this hurts the black community more than any community that has been afflicted with genocide and hatred and murder and death. Jews, the Holocaust, there's books written, and just like with slavery and everything, books written. But the thing is, the Jewish community, or politics, I should say, the Democratic Party, they don't come up with new words for the Holocaust. They don't come up with new words to politicize Jewish pain. The Jewish history is already, you can already read the recent history, the past 100 years. You can read the Holocaust, and you could see that, just from Nuremberg testimony, that babies were thrown into Auschwitz furnaces alive, and children were done that. They did that too. But there's no anti-Jew nationalism. See, Hitler wanted to actually create a world without Jews. But see, the Democratic Party doesn't create a euphemism saying anti-Jew globalism or anti-Jew nationalism or whatever. We already know that history, and it's not tainted by politics. You can say that, yeah, the whole Israel-Palestine thing is tainted by it, and sometimes Jews are just as guilty of using the Holocaust for political purposes, and I've written about that in Jewish publications. But what happens with the black suffering and black pain and black history is that on Twitter, especially Twitter, because if you take away Twitter, you take away like 80% of the Democratic Party, their propaganda, everything.
Yeah.
The history of black people now and the suffering, whereas before it was Ida B. Wells, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. You can actually it's historical figures. It's the history, the progression of the suffering from slavery, the progression of the victories. Now it's a euphemism that was never used under Obama, white nationalism. What does that mean? Taking advantage, they're using it to take advantage of the suffering. Like that guy you were talking about, he posts a picture and he says through identity politics, I'm a black man. I can speak for 400 years of slavery and racism.
He cannot.
And I'm going to go ahead and say H.A. Goodman is horrible, or Tim Black is horrible, or somebody's horrible because they don't agree that this recent euphemism now is intertwined with lynching and everything. So when that idiot guy who was hopefully kicked out of the chat room says, H.A. Goodman doesn't think white nationalism is real after he's seen a picture of lynching. Yes, the history and the suffering and the pain is there. The euphemism is a new political tool from insane people who will never implement a white nation. And that's the thing. They need a boogeyman. Before it was Bernie couldn't do it. Hillary's the pragmatic choice. Trump is the boogeyman. That didn't work. Now it's Russia's the boogeyman. She caused it. Now it's the white nationalists and Nazis. I'm telling you, Tim, it's going to be, who knows what it's going to be. Maybe it'll be China or Iran in the future. They never get enough of the boogeyman, the dangerous person that social justice warriors or the Democratic establishment can protect you from. And that's the thing. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, no, man. brother, like I said, I'm just disappointed in what we're seeing, bro. I really am. You know, you mind if we switch topics a little bit, man? I want to ask you about the DACA, because I did a segment on it, and what I'm seeing, like, okay, so DACA, it's about the young people that were under the age of 16, who were brought to this country illegally or without going through the proper channels in order to get, become citizens of the United States. And they couldn't have records, and they, it's all these checks and balances before you get approved into DACA, which is a program that Obama created in order to keep these people from being deported. They can go to school, they can get jobs, and like 95% of them are. But if they commit a crime or whatever, then they're out. Okay, so Trump is talking about ending this program. Here's the thing I find interesting. Now, he gave it a 6-month reprieve, okay? People say it was illegal because Obama should have ran it through Congress and let Congress pass the legislation. And that's what Trump is saying he's going to do. He's going to repeal the order or whatever, but then he's going to ask Congress to run it through Congress and get it done that way. My thing is Congress can't tie its own shoestrings. Yeah. Congress can't get anything done. They can't get we got the debt ceiling, we got tax reform, we got health care. Like, what has Congress been able to do? Anything that Trump's gotten done, he's got done on his own. So that's how I see DACA. I think it was the fact that, Congress can't get anything done. I think Trump just doesn't want to be stuck looking at his supporters going, he didn't try to get anything done on immigration when he ran on immigration reform. That was one of his tenets of his campaign. And now he's like, okay, if you guys need to fix this is not up to me. I'm not going to hold the bag on why we can't get immigration reform done. It's going to be Congress, not me, who takes the hit. What do you think about it, H.A.?
I think you said it 100% right. First of all, this stalker guy, cyber stalker, that when he made a big deal about DACA on my DMs, he didn't realize I wrote in 2014. See, that's the thing. People who don't like me or you, they don't know what we've done. So I was a contributor to The Hill, and before I wrote in The Hill, before I was a contributor, I wrote in the Congress blog. In the Congress blog, I wrote, "Illegal immigrants benefit the U.S. economy," and I explained that 1 million. The U.S. Department of Agriculture states that about half of the hired workers employed in U.S. crop agriculture were unauthorized. So we don't have – so the Department of Labor reports that 2.5 million farm workers in the U.S., over half are illegal or undocumented immigrants. See, that's the thing. If you – like, there are people who are like, no, you have to say undocumented. They care more about the words than actually, like, what's going on. But – so 2.5 million workers in the agriculture, in the industry, and then the one person for the National Milk Producers Federation wrote, "The reality, however, is that if we deported a substantial number of undocumented farm workers, there would be a tremendous labor shortage." Americans, and then I actually debated the Reverend Jesse Peterson. Or no, Jesse Lee Peterson. Yeah.
Jesse, he's a special guy. Yeah. He's really special.
He's very special, very interesting. Yeah. And so the interesting thing is that I debated him on immigration, that I wrote that article and articles in the Huffington Post, and I said that a wall is stupid. But see, Tim, the problem is this, man. With DACA and with immigration reform, you and I, we call it the way it is. Mm-hmm. Congress, it doesn't help Democrats in Congress to fix immigration reform. Like, they had a chance. It didn't work out many years back. A big comprehensive bill didn't work out. It doesn't behoove them, Tim, to continually fight back and fix it. What helps them is, oh shit, we didn't fix it. So, oh fuck, you don't want Trump in the White House. You want to vote for Hillary. If they wait to fix it, they know they got that carrot. they know they have the incentive for people to be like, you don't want Trump to repeal DACA and everything. So they don't go ahead and constantly, you know what? It didn't work under Obama once. Let's continue to try to work, because it has to be bipartisan. So that people like Elephant Killer and Use the Illusion, they don't understand anything how politics works. They have to work with Republicans. Comprehensive immigration reform, or immigration reform of some manner. Okay, you have to work with them to get it passed. Now, all we hear about is Russia. We would have had immigration reform. We would have fixed the Voting Rights Act. We would have fixed Flint. We would have fixed everything else if they put as much effort on Russia. Now, if you look at what Congress passes and what they even work on, it's not big things. It's a lot of it's like, symbolic. A lot of it's like
a bridge.
Yeah. But let me tell you, Tim, if it's to bomb a motherfucker, we're there right that second. And it's right there, right there.
Absolutely.
But if it's but see, also they're smart. Like, Democrats are smart. They're not gonna fix the Voting Rights Amendment Act right away because they need black votes. That's stupid. They know they're gonna wait. Wait a second now. If they don't fix it by 2020, then that's the perfect political tool to get black voters to vote Democrat. You're gonna see the biggest push on the Voting Rights Amendment Act, and a Republican, Jim Sensenbrenner, and John Conyers' decades-long Congressional Black Caucus. You're going to see they're not going to talk about that for years and years, and then they'll say, when Trump's going to get reelected again in 2020, they'll say, if you don't vote Democrat, they're going to mess with the Voting Rights Amendment Act. But they could have fixed it already.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is the time. It's what it is manipulating. See, the right doesn't do that, Tim. They don't manipulate. Like, they're like, hey, you want a wall? Let's do it. They're like really real, like, Second Amendment. No one's fucking with our guns ever. That's it. Mm-hmm. And by the way, like, I mean, not to get, a little bit like, after this whole thing, I kind of get like being protected at home, and I understand I understand like all of that stuff even more from the conservative perspective, because, you have a family, you have a growing family like you and I do. And some dude says, hey, I know your wife, and I'm going to come. No. If you do that, you're not going to leave healthy. If you come to my house, trust me, this guy or any person that messes with you or me. But the thing is, like, Tim, how did black poverty increase under Obama? How did, and that's the thing. And I will say this, just in terms of like different ethnic groups within the Democratic Party, it's like Tammany Hall. It's like their biggest concerns are put off. So the Democrats can then say, if you don't listen to us, you're going to be hurt by the Republicans.
My thing is this, HA, like, people are getting so played by these immigration issues, and look, I kind of got caught up into it at one point, because I was listening to some commentary from some people that said they were really, their best interest was, poor black people who are struggling like hell in this country. So I listened to what they said, and I was kind of influenced by it, but I own my misjudgment after really looking at immigration and seeing both the conservative point of view and the liberal point of view. I look at it like this. It's all BS, because at the end of the day, if we had the right trade agreements, if we could demand that corporations kept their jobs in-house instead of making an extra buck on an item by sending it to China or Mexico, then you would not give a shit about immigration reform. See, you only care about immigration reform because you think you're losing something. You're thinking, there goes the job that somebody here could have gotten. I could have gotten, my cousin could have gotten, my kids could have gotten. You would have that job if we fixed the trade agreements. Now, just so happens, the people that have passed the worst trade agreements have been Democrats. With NAFTA was shit, they tried to push through TPP as well. These trade agreements hurt you more than if you opened the floodgates of Mexico. They hurt. These trade agreements are what has been killing us. Do you understand? So, no, it's not that I'm saying immigration is not something you need to look at. But as far as DACA, these young people, You had to be at least under 16 when you came to the United States. You had to do that. Had to happen before 2007. These people, if they commit a crime, they're gone. They're out of here. Okay, they're not your problem. If you are worried about jobs, you're worried about stability in your job, then you need to be looking at these trade agreements that have been sucking, that have ravaged, that have left places like Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, these states screwed over, Detroit. These are the problems. It's not Julio. It is politicos. It's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not the Hispanics that's making you panic. It's the inorganic transfer of our jobs overseas so they can make an extra buck. It's not like GM would have gone out of business, man. Right? It's not like, what's the one that Trump was trying to help out there in Indiana?
The air conditioning company.
Yeah, the air conditioner. Yeah, it's not like those guys would. All the air conditioners would have shut down if they, Carrier. It's not like Carrier would have been, in hysteria if they couldn't get their jobs overseas or whatever in Mexico. They would still be carrying on. They just wanted to make more money, man. So we have to force these corporations. We have to tighten up our trade, tighten up regulations on corporations sending jobs overseas and penalize the hell out of them. And then it won't matter. That's the only reason why you care, man. And we're talking about illegal immigration. We're talking about legal immigration as well. We're talking about immigration as a whole. Of course, we don't want MS-13 here, but let's not conflate the issue. DACA has nothing at all to do with that. We're talking about people in school and people that have jobs. 95% of these people are either in school or they're employed, okay? These are not gangbangers. These are people that, so get it right.
When I was a high school history teacher in Los Angeles for around 5 years, and the young people that I taught were wonderful. But the recent immigrants, the kids that came, like, I can tell you right now that I knew that I taught kids who didn't have any papers and, who came when they were young. I can tell you that they were the coolest. They were the most respectful. And I'm talking, like, the funny thing is, like, I even had, some kids, very rarely at the school I taught, they might have been part of a gang. But it's really interesting. Even the ones that are part of a gang were the most respectful in a way, because they understood either the dynamic of, it was the kids that I knew that they were born here. They're American, like you, like me. They have the iPod, like they just, and if I asked them, hey, can you please move seats? Can you please take off your, oh my God, big problem. Why? But you never had an issue, you never had an issue with a recent immigrant. They were the best. They
understand there was repercussions.
Yeah. The repercussions. And I mean, I'm talking about from Mexico, from Korea, I'm talking about, like, yeah, they were the best students. Like the ones from Mexico, they were like really, really respectful, amazing. And I just, and they were like kids that I thought that had lived here their whole lives, that I knew that they came without papers, and they were also the most respectful. I just realized that, like, it's just, I think that when you're a recent immigrant, especially, I'm against what Trump did with DACA, but at the same time, don't jump into a shark cage, or don't jump into, an ocean full of sharks and expect that the shark's not going to bite you. We knew what Republicans could do if we went into November 8th with the worst candidate in the history of mankind. We were going to, liberals or progressives or people on the left were going to lose, get destroyed. And they did. Now, you and I, for months and months, were warning people. We got hate, and now we're still getting hate. But see, the thing is, it's not about DACA. It's not about recent immigrants. It's not about values. It's about winning and losing on that team, on that little cult team, that little brainwashed group.
Yeah.
They don't care about winning if it means changing their paradigm. Because if they listened to us, they'd win. If they listened to Tim Black, H.A. Goodman, they would win. There wouldn't be a Trump White House.
Nope.
So when the funny thing is, this guy, and I know that other people, like when I debated Alex Rubinstein and this guy who was a cyber stalker, they said to me, "HA, you're a joke. People think you're a joke." But the people who would think that are writers at the New York Times or Washington Post, but I think they're a joke. Yeah. So you, me, our crew is laughing at them. They're laughing, and we're right. And we were right, but see, the thing is, they don't get it. Like, they don't like WikiLeaks because WikiLeaks exposes the truth. They're stuck in a mentality like, well, everything is bad, but and then this mentality on the like weird. It's not really left. It's actually like the neoliberal kind of. This guy's like, bullying is good, as long as I bully racist Bernie bros. Like, well, you're actually going to lose because you don't, like you said, Tim, they don't bully the Joy Reids. They don't bully the Rachel Maddows. They don't bully the people who actually do get prison lobbyist money, but then they pretend to be so down and everything. So like I said, like, you're 100% right. It's not like these people who grew up here, they're American, just like anybody who was born here. But the Democratic Party is not going to help them. And that's the problem. People like, we don't have to name people, but the people that are afraid of going and basically calling out the DNC every chance and only want to focus on Trump, they do so because they don't have the courage intellectually, and they don't have the wisdom to realize that this America will last longer than the Democrat or Republican parties of today.
Absolutely.
If you don't structurally change now and look in the mirror now, who saved the Republican Party? I mean, not that I want the Republicans to win, but who saved the Republican Party? It was Trump. It wasn't Jeb Bush.
No.
His ass couldn't even make it the primary, and so, but then you get the people like Nate Silver saying he won't even win the primary. Meanwhile, when I was writing articles in the Hill Salon and the Huffington Post, I was actually saying Trump's going to become GOP nominee.
So what's the thing, AJ? They believe that since you were able to tell by listening to people, since you were able to tell by looking at the policies and looking at the polls objectively, since I was able to tell by listening to my phone callers every Friday and sometimes on Tuesdays and Thursdays, since I was able to tell from when I went to the DNC and talked to real people, like, since we were able to tell that Trump could beat Hillary so badly, and we were right, somehow us being able to tell that made it happen. Like, I still don't get this idea that we made it happen by knowing it would happen. No. A fortune teller, even if you believe we're fortune tellers, which we are not, they didn't make it happen. They just were able to see that it would happen. I couldn't. What is this? Oh, so we're supposed to be like Tom Cruise in that movie Minority Report, where we're supposed to go stop the future from happening. Well, we did the next best thing. I put up hours of video content. You put up the hundreds of articles telling them, and unfortunately, we were stupid then. They called us stupid. They called us insane. So HA, man, one last thing, man. A man dies after diving into a flaming effigy at Burning Man Festival. I don't know what the Burning Man Festival is, but I wanted to kind of end on a light note, because it's been so sad and so disappointing. A Pershing County Sheriff Jerry Allen confirmed the death of the man identified as 41-year-old Aaron Joel at the UC Davis Hospital Burns Center in California. This is in your neck of the woods, HA. The Burning Man Festival early confirmed the incident in a statement. Organizers said the man broke through a safety perimeter at 10:30 p.m. Saturday evening and ran into a fire. Dude, what the hell is the Burning Man Festival? Maybe you know about it because it's in L.A.
Yeah, I mean,
fuck, man?
I have a friend who just came from there, and what it is basically, it's this. I know anything I say is not going to describe it correctly, but it's this kind of very free, open, somewhat spiritual, psychedelic type.
Okay. So my man was probably a little high at the time when he ran into the fire. Maybe,
yeah, there was some. Yeah, there was there's a lot of a lot of narcotics going on there, and there's a lot of things like it's supposed to be this event that's like this spiritual type thing that like people don't wear a lot of clothes and they live and there's music and it's kind of like you know what it's like Tim, it's kind of like a kind of interesting or a new version of Woodstock in a way, but more like psychedelic and you know kind of out there.
Sounds like they went way past weed. Like they're in the LSD.
You're talking. Do not collect $200. Do not pass go. Yeah. I'm talking way past. Like let's put it this way. Weed is like cornflakes.
Right.
So I mean, like ecstasy is like probably lifesavers there, or maybe inside lifesavers. Who knows? But I mean, my thing is that, with drugs and that type of thing, I never really understood. Like when I was younger, I saw somebody take ecstasy, a girl, and she was like shivering on the ground. And I said to myself, God, that's not fun at all. Like, she okay. She was all right, but eventually, but it was like, this is when I was in my early 20s. Like, I don't really want to be a part of that stuff, And then it's just, I think marijuana is very good for your health in many ways. I mean, in terms of, especially if you're a cancer patient, especially if, I don't think it's actually a drug. I think it's better than alcohol. I've seen so many people, do so many horrible things on alcohol. I haven't seen anyone do anything bad on marijuana. Nothing.
Yeah. No one I personally know has ever done anything on marijuana. Now, alcohol, gosh, man, I could tell you stories, man. This is horrible. Horrible track record.
A track record of death,
yeah,
and,
absolutely.
it's like, I remember it's just so messed up. I mean, I guess it transitioned to this type of thing, but I remember, meeting up for, it'd have like a annual football game with my friends or whatever. And one guy had a friend who the night before was taking cocaine and then drinking and died. And it's just like really weird. Like you're playing football that day with your friends. But that one of your friends one of your friends has a friend who the night before, and they found him like he was just like that. And he just died. And it's just like, oh wow, like that's crazy. You don't think him. You just don't when you're younger. Also, like some people, like I just remember somebody when I was younger saying, "You don't mind if I do this, do you?" And I was like, "Oh no!" And I looked, and he was taking out cocaine, and I was like, "Oh shit, that's not." It was weird. Like I don't want to be associated with that, especially like Tim. I'm fucking neurotic enough.
Right.
I don't need cocaine to make me more neurotic.
Yeah, I'm good.
Every day, I got a Twitter beef. Imagine if I was on cocaine, it would be like 20, like calling like LAPD. So like, it's just my thing is you got to be careful if you go to Burning Man, you go to these things, you got to know who you are. Like my buddy, he knows who he is, so he doesn't fuck with those things. He doesn't do those things. But
has some rules, man.
If you don't know who you are and you go to Burning Man, it's not a good thing.
Okay. Well, look, H.A. Goodman, man. Look, this has been another great show, man. I appreciate you so much for joining me for No Sellouts again, man, and just making it a great show that people love to tune into. Minus the jerks that come through every once in a while because they're pissed off about whatever. But I think we got great chemistry. And we speak the truth from our hearts, and we mean what we say. HA, so you're gonna go tomorrow. You're gonna file that report.
I'm going to LAPD detective. I'm gonna show him because the police officer who spoke to me said, if you have everything documented, ask for a detective. They should help you out and file a report. And I'm just gonna file. I mean, I already know this. I know the guy. He's either writes for a publication or he's written for a publication. I don't know where his work is, but he has another Twitter handle. He did threaten me. The police officer said that, yes, it is a threat. and detective LAPD detective will get involved, and we'll get to the bottom of it. So this is only the first inning, and anybody who threatens you or me, we're going to take care of it. It's not, we're going to take care of it legally. And I just want to thank you. I love you, man. I thank you for your friendship, because that's the most important thing. Our friendship is the most important thing. And it's a great feeling to go into this arena with you, because we both make each other stronger.
Yeah.
Like anyone fucks with you, they have a goddamn pit bull in me. Like I'm a fucking Doberman, and I'm like,
right.
So, and I know that you have my back. You did today, just a couple minutes ago. So it's good, and I feel very privileged, because I know that a lot of our contemporaries don't have what we have. And that's like, they don't, like, a lot of the people out there, their own YouTube channels, they don't have like the support that you and I give each other. So I really appreciate it. No Sellouts crew, you guys are amazing. And thank you for, let's make it, every week. It's growing, but let's continue. Tell your friends, if you're No Sellouts, you're watching, let's get this to, right now we got 300, sometimes 400 people viewing. We got to get 1,000 people viewing every week, because this is a really great meeting of the minds here, and it's something that you just don't find.
You know what? I need to ask them at every show to share it, on their profiles, share it on wherever you're watching, and share it somewhere to let someone else know about the show, because we really got to break through the group thing. There are good people out there. They're just being misled by bad information. And if anything else, they can at least add our voices to the equation when they're trying to figure stuff out, because it's a different voice, guys. It's a different take.
Yep.
All right,
man. Thank you, man. I love you, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother. Look, everybody, go find H.A. Goodman on Facebook. Find him on Twitter. Go to counterproper.com for his website to help this show, support independent media. Go in the description box below. Use Patreon for a monthly subscription. It can be any amount you want it to be. And I appreciate you guys so much. We're out of here. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you, H.A. Great show, guys. Great show. Go to TimBlackTV.com. Pick up this shirt. No Sellouts. Momo Pineno, the designer extraordinaire for this shirt. I love this shirt. And one of our most popular designs. Can you see that? Let me get this mic out the way. Well, you see that. You see the thing right here. Here you go. Tim, they see it, Tim Black. I love you guys. I'll see you on the next one. Tim Black. Tim Black. Tim Black. Yes, I am. True.